The message appeared in the Peterson family group chat at 11:47 a.m. on a Tuesday. Dad, we've made a decision. Your mother and I are done supporting you, Jordan. You're 29 years old. It's time you figured out life on your own. I was in a conference room when my phone buzzed. 20 executives from a Fortune 500 company sat around the table, waiting for me to continue my presentation on their digital infrastructure overhaul, a $40 million contract. I glanced at the screen. Read Dad's message. Watched the responses pile up immediately. Marcus, my older brother, finally. About time. He's been leeching off you guys forever. Rebecca, my younger sister, maybe now he'll get a real job instead of that tech consultant nonsense. Marcus, tech consultant equals unemployed with a laptop, lol. Mom, we love you, Jordan, but this is what's best for everyone. You need to learn responsibility. Rebecca, tough love. You got this, bro. But seriously, get it together. I set the phone face down on the table and returned to my presentation. As I was saying, the implementation timeline for Phase 3 will require approximately 8 weeks. During the lunch break, I stepped outside and pulled up my banking app. Found the account labeled Family Support Operations. Clicked through to the automatic payment schedule. Mortgage payment to First National Bank, Peterson residence, $3,200 per month. Car payment, Dad's Lexus, $780 per month. Car payment, Mom's Mercedes, $695 per month. Utilities, gas/electric, $340 per month. Utilities, water, $95 per month. Phone plan, family, 5 lines, $310 per month. Home insurance, $425 per month. Property tax escrow, $650 per month. Total monthly, $6,495. I'd been making these payments for 5 years. 60 months. $389,700 total. My parents thought they were paying their own bills. The money appeared to leave their account on schedule every month. What they didn't know is that it immediately bounced back from a corporate account I'd set up, making it look like their payments had processed while my money actually covered everything. It had taken some sophisticated financial structuring, but I'd wanted them to maintain their dignity. To never feel like charity cases. To never know their disappointment. Son was the only thing standing between them and foreclosure. I canceled every automatic transfer. Then I typed a single word into the family chat. Understood. The backstory started 6 years ago, when I was 23. I dropped out of college my junior year, not because I was failing, but because I'd built a cybersecurity algorithm that 3 different companies wanted to license. My computer science professor had pulled me aside after class one day. Jordan, what you've created here is worth actual money. Real money. You're wasting time in my class when you could be building a company. My parents will kill me if I drop out, I'd said. Your parents will get over it when you're successful. He'd been half right. I dropped out, licensed my algorithm to a mid-sized tech firm for $800,000, and used that money to start my own consulting company. Within 18 months, I was pulling in $40,000 monthly in contracts. By year 3, I was clearing $150,000 monthly. My parents never believed any of it. Tech consulting, Dad would say with air quotes whenever anyone asked what I did. Which is a fancy way of saying he plays on computers all day. He dropped out of college, Mom would add, her voice tight with shame. We tried to raise him right, but the truth was simpler and more painful. I didn't fit their narrative. Marcus was the golden child, law degree from Georgetown, married to a doctor, 2 kids, a house in the suburbs. He made $190,000 a year as a corporate attorney and never let anyone forget it. Rebecca was the princess, marketing director at a mid-sized firm, engaged to a financial analyst, constantly posting aesthetic Instagram photos of her blessed life. She pulled in about $85,000 annually and spent most of it on maintaining appearances. Then there was me, college dropout, single, living in a modest apartment, driving a 4-year-old Toyota. I didn't look successful by their metrics, so I couldn't be successful. Never mind that I was pulling in $1.8 million annually. Never mind that I'd been featured in 3 tech industry publications. Never mind that Fortune 500 companies flew me across the country to solve their problems. I didn't have the degree, didn't have the wife, didn't have the suburban house with the two-car garage. So, I was the family embarrassment. The financial support started almost accidentally. 5 years ago, I'd been visiting for Sunday dinner when I'd overheard Dad on the phone in his study. "I understand the payment is late," he'd been saying, his voice strained. "My company had some cutbacks. Yes, I'm still employed, but the commission structure changed. I can get you $1,500 by Friday, but the full $3,200 might take until the 15th. He'd seen me in the doorway and ended the call quickly. "Everything okay?" I'd asked. "Fine. Just some cash flow timing. Nothing for you to worry about." His tone had made it clear the conversation was over. I'd done some quiet digging over the next week. Dad worked in commercial real estate sales, an industry that had taken a beating in the previous recession. His commissions had dropped by 60%. Mom's part-time administrative job brought in maybe $25,000 yearly. They were drowning. But they'd never admit it, especially not to me. Not to the dropout son who'd thrown away his future. So I'd set up the corporate account structure. Made it look like their payments were processing normally from their checking account while my money actually covered everything. They'd never know. Never feel embarrassed. Never owe me anything. I'd told myself it was temporary. Just until Dad's commissions picked back up. 5 years later, they still hadn't. The first sign that something was wrong came 3 days after I canceled the transfers. I was in Seattle for a client meeting when my phone rang. Unknown number. I ignored it. 2 hours later, another call. Same number. Then a voicemail. "Mr. Peterson, this is Jennifer Wu from First National Bank. We're calling regarding the mortgage account for property at 847 Meadowbrook Drive. We show a returned payment, which is unusual for this account. Please call us back at your earliest convenience." They'd called my parents too, of course. But the number on file for account inquiries was mine, a detail I'd arranged years ago, so I'd know immediately if something went wrong. Nothing went wrong because I'd always made sure the money was there. Until now. I deleted the voicemail and opened my email. Sent a message to my attorney, effective immediately, discontinue all financial support structures for Peterson family accounts. Let me know if any institutions contact you. His response came within minutes. Understood. Are you certain? This will create immediate financial stress for them. I'm certain. The family group chat stayed quiet for almost a week. Then, the following Monday night, my phone exploded. "Mom, Jordan, have you been having any issues with your bank? We're getting some strange notices." I was at a business dinner. I glanced at the message and set the phone aside. 20 minutes later. "Dad, Jordan, I need you to call me. It's important." Then, "Marcus, yo. Mom and Dad are trying to reach you. Pick up your phone. Rebecca. Where are you? Family emergency." I finished my dinner. Drove home. Poured a glass of wine. Then I opened the group chat. "I'm here. What's the emergency?" "Dad, call me." Not a text conversation. "I'm available to talk here." 3 dots appeared and disappeared several times. Then, "Dad, there's been some kind of bank error. Multiple payments bounced this week. Mortgage, car loans, utilities. We're trying to sort it out, but the bank is saying our backup payment source was discontinued. I have you listed as an account contact for some reason. Maybe from when you lived here? Did they call you?" My heart rate stayed perfectly calm. I'd spent 5 years preparing for this moment, even though I'd hoped it would never come. They called. I told them I'm no longer associated with those accounts. "Mom, what do you mean?" "Jordan, this is serious. We could get late fees." "I understand. That sounds stressful." "Marcus, dude, what's wrong with you? Help them figure this out." "I'm not sure what you want me to do. Dad said they're done supporting me, so I'm being independent like you all wanted. I assume you're all handling your own finances too." "Rebecca, this isn't the time for your attitude. Mom and Dad need help." "With what, specifically?" "Dad. Jordan, I don't have time for whatever point you're trying to make. Did you change something with the bank? Did you close an account?" I took a sip of wine. Looked at my phone. Thought about 5 years of secret payments. 5 years of tech consultant jokes. 5 years of being introduced as our son who dropped out of college. I closed a corporate account that was handling some automated payments. It's no longer active. Mom, what payments? Various bills. But like Dad said, you're done supporting me, so I figured you didn't need me involved in your finances anymore. There was a long pause. I watched the three dots appear and disappear over and over. Dad, what are you talking about? I screenshot my banking app. The Family Support Operations account. 5 years of transaction history. Every mortgage payment. Every car payment. Every utility bill. Every single transfer. I sent it to the group chat. These payments. I've been covering your mortgage, both car loans, utilities, insurance, and property taxes for 5 years. The corporate account that was handling them is now closed. You're on your own, just like you wanted. The chat went silent. I watched the red receipts appear under my message.
Mom.
Dad. Marcus. Rebecca. Nobody typed anything for 6 full minutes. Then, Marcus, this is fake. You don't have this kind of money. Call First National Bank and ask them about the payment source for your parents' mortgage for the last 60 months. They'll confirm. Rebecca, why would you do this and not tell them? Because they needed help and were too proud to ask. Because I actually care about family, even when they think I'm a failure. Mom. Jordan, we never said you were a failure. I laughed out loud at that.
Typed.
Last Thanksgiving, you literally told Aunt Susan I was still trying to find myself, while Marcus was actually established. At Christmas, you introduced me to your friends as the one who's good with computers. Last month, Dad told me I needed to get serious about life because I don't have a wife and kids yet. You've spent 6 years making it clear I'm the disappointment. So I stayed quiet and paid your bills and let you think you were doing it all on your own. Because I loved you enough to protect your pride. Dad. Son. We didn't know you were struggling financially too. We would never have accepted money if we'd known you needed it. The audacity of that statement hit me like a physical blow. I'm not struggling, Dad. I own my apartment building. I have 7 figures in investments. I gross about $1.8 million annually. I've been fine. Better than fine. Marcus. Bullshit. You drive a Toyota. Because I don't need to prove anything to anyone. Unlike some people. Rebecca, if you're so rich, why do you live in that tiny apartment? It's a penthouse. I own the whole building. I live in 2,000 square feet because I don't need more. The other units are rentals. Another long silence. Mom, why didn't you tell us? I tried. 6 years ago, when I landed my first major contract, I invited you all to dinner to celebrate. Dad spent the whole meal telling me to go back to college because tech bubbles always burst. Marcus gave me a lecture about financial stability. Rebecca asked if I'd considered getting a real job with benefits. So, I stopped trying to tell you. I just quietly made sure you were okay and let you think whatever you wanted to think about me. Dad, we're your parents. We were trying to guide you. You were trying to fit me into your idea of success. And when I didn't fit, you wrote me off. The next few days were chaos. I watched from a distance. Mom called 14 times. I didn't answer. Dad sent a long email explaining that they'd always supported me in their own way and that I was taking things out of context. Marcus sent angry texts accusing me of financial manipulation and holding this over their heads. Rebecca tried the sympathy route. I know you're hurt, but this is cruel. There are parents. I responded to exactly one message, Rebecca's. What's cruel is spending 5 years being the family punchline while literally keeping everyone afloat. What's cruel is watching them brag about Marcus's salary at every gathering while I'm paying their mortgage. What's cruel is we're done supporting you when the only support that existed was flowing in the opposite direction.
She didn't respond.
2 weeks after I canceled the transfers, my attorney called. Your father wants to meet. He's asking if you'll see him.
No.
He's offering to pay back everything. He has some kind of payment plan drawn up. That stopped me. He what? He came to my office yesterday with a spreadsheet. He wants to repay the full amount, $389,700, at $2,000 monthly. It would take him 16 years. I closed my eyes. He can't afford that. I told him as much. He said he'd make it work. Sell the cars, downsize the house, whatever it takes. My attorney paused. Jordan, I think he's serious. Tell him no. You don't want the money back? I never wanted the money back. That's not what this is about. Then what is it about? I looked out my office window at the city below. It's about them seeing me, actually seeing me. Not who they want me to be, or who they're embarrassed I'm not. Just me. I'll tell him you declined the payment plan. What should I say about a meeting? Tell him I'll think about it. 3 weeks after the canceled transfers, Marcus showed up at my building. The doorman called up. Mr. Peterson, your brother is here. Should I send him up?
No.
I'll come down. Marcus was pacing in the lobby, still in his work suit. He looked exhausted. Nice building, he said when he saw me. You really own this? Yes. All 6 units. Yes. He ran a hand through his hair. Jesus, Jordan. Why didn't you say something? I did. None of you listened. I mean, really say something.
Show us.
Prove it. I shouldn't have to prove my worth to my own family. I stayed standing.
Didn't invite him to sit.
What do you want, Marcus? Mom's a wreck. Dad's trying to sell his car. Rebecca won't stop crying because she feels guilty.
He met my eyes.
You made your point. Can we fix this now? What point do you think I made? That we underestimated you. That we were wrong.
Fine.
We were wrong. You're successful. We get it. Now can we move past this? I laughed, but there was no humor in it. You think this is about proving I'm successful? Isn't it? Marcus, I paid their bills for 5 years. I never told them. Never asked for credit. Never threw it in anyone's face. I did it because they needed help, and I could help them.
My voice stayed level.
And the thanks I got was being told they were done supporting me in a family group chat while you all laughed. That's not about success. That's about basic human respect. We didn't know.
You didn't ask.
That's different. I headed toward the elevator. Tell Mom and Dad I'll pay for the mortgage for 2 more months. That gives them time to refinance for an amount they can actually afford. After that, they're on their own. Truly on their own. Jordan, wait. I'm not doing this, Marcus. Not today. Not with you. The elevator doors opened. You spent 6 years making jokes about my career. You want to fix things? Start by looking in the mirror. I stepped into the elevator and pressed the button before he could respond. 6 weeks after everything imploded, I received a letter in the mail.
Actual pape, actual stam.
My father's handwriting on the envelope. I almost threw it away. Instead, I poured a drink and opened it. Jordan, I don't know if you'll read this. I don't blame you if you don't. Your mother and I met with a financial counselor this week. We're downsizing to a smaller house, something we can actually afford on our income. We sold both cars and bought used ones with cash. We're cutting expenses everywhere we can. We should have done this years ago. We were living beyond our means and too proud to admit it. Too proud to ask for help. And when help came from you, we were too blind to even see it. Marcus showed me the messages from 6 years ago. When you tried to tell us about your first big contract, I read what I wrote to you that night. Tech bubbles always burst. Get a real job. I don't remember saying those things, but I believe you that I did. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm not asking for anything. I just want you to know that I see you now. I see what you built. I see what you did for us. I see who you are. And I'm sorry it took losing everything to open my eyes. I love you, son. I'm proud of you. I should have said that more. I should have said it ever. Dad. I read it 3 times. Set it down. Picked it up and read it again. Then I called my attorney. The payment plan my father proposed, is he still offering it?
Yes.
He's been calling weekly to ask if you've reconsidered. Tell him no again. Tell him the debt is forgiven. All of it. Jordan, are you? Tell him it was never alone. It was family taking care of family. Tell him. I paused. Tell him I'm releasing the $389,700 on one condition. What's that? That he stops trying to pay me back and starts building the life he can actually afford. The honest life. No more keeping up appearances. I'll tell him. After I hung up, I sat with the letter for a long time. Forgiveness wasn't a switch. I couldn't just flip it and make everything okay. The hurt was still there, 6 years of dismissal, mockery, being treated like the family embarrassment. But I could choose not to let that hurt define the rest of our relationship. I could choose to be the person who helped without keeping score, especially when it wasn't acknowledged. Because that's who I'd always been, underneath everything. 2 months later, I agreed to have coffee with my mother. We met at a quiet cafe halfway between our homes. She looked smaller than I remembered, older. Your father and I closed on the new house yesterday, she said. 3 bedrooms, 1 floor, manageable mortgage. It's nice. Simpler.
Good.
Marcus and Rebecca helped us move. We got rid of so much stuff. Things we were keeping just to, I don't know, fill space. She stirred her coffee. Make ourselves look successful. I didn't respond. Jordan, I need to tell you something. She met my eyes. When you were 16, you built that computer from parts you'd saved up for. You were so proud of it. And I remember your father saying he didn't understand why you'd waste money on that when you could have just bought one from the store. I remember. You tried to explain that you'd learned so much building it, that it was better than anything you could buy, that you wanted to understand how things worked, not just use them. Her voice cracked. And we didn't listen. We didn't see that you were already becoming who you are now. We just saw a kid wasting money. Mom. We did it again and again. Every time you tried to show us who you were, we told you to be someone else. Someone we could understand. Someone who fit our idea of success. Tears rolled down her cheeks. And you became successful anyway. Became generous. Became good. Despite us, not because of us. I handed her a napkin. I don't know how to fix 6 years of being blind, she said. I don't know if you even want me to try. But I'm asking, not for things to go back to how they were because how they were was broken. I'm asking if we can build something new. Something honest. I thought about the letter from my father. About Marcus showing up at my building. About Rebecca's apologetic text that had slowly shifted from defensive to genuinely remorseful. I don't need you to fix 6 years, I said quietly. I need you to see me in the next 6. And the 6 after that. I need you to stop measuring my life against Marcus's or Rebecca's or anyone else's. I need you to trust that I know what I'm doing, even when it doesn't look like what you expected. We can do that. I can do that. Can you? I want to try. She reached across the table, stopped short of taking my hand. Will you let me try? I looked at her, really looked at her. Saw the regret. Saw the grief over what she'd almost lost. Saw the mother who'd once helped me with science projects before the disappointment set in. Yeah, I said finally. I'll let you try. The family group chat stayed quiet for 3 months. Nobody used it. Too many bad memories. Then one day, a new chat appeared. New beginnings with just 4 members. Mom, Dad, Marcus, Rebecca, and me. Dad, Jordan, saw an article about corporate cybersecurity contracts. Made me think of you. Sending the link in case it's interesting. Attached was a Wall Street Journal piece about the exact sector I worked in. I stared at my phone. Dad had never, in 6 years, sent me anything related to my actual work. Thanks, Dad. I'm actually quoted in this piece. Page 3. Dad, are you really? I'll read the whole thing. That's incredible, son. Mom. Our son in the Wall Street Journal. Sending to everyone we know. Marcus. That's actually pretty cool.
Congrats.
Rebecca. Screenshotted and posted to Instagram. Hope that's okay? Want people to know my brother's brilliant. I smiled despite myself. It's okay. It wasn't everything. It wasn't 6 years of pain erased. But it was a start. A year after I canceled those transfers, we had Thanksgiving at my parents' new house. It was smaller than the old place. The furniture was mismatched. The dishes didn't all coordinate. But Dad carved the turkey without any speeches about Marcus's achievements. Mom didn't compare anyone's life choices. Rebecca asked genuine questions about my current projects. Marcus actually listened to the answers. After dinner, Dad pulled me aside. I've been attending this financial responsibility workshop, he said. Learning to budget properly. Live within means. All the stuff I should have learned decades ago. That's good, Dad. I wanted to show you something. He pulled out his phone, showed me a budgeting app.
See?
Everything tracked. Income, expenses, savings. I'm 3 months ahead on all my bills now. Using my own money. The pride in his voice made my chest tight. I'm really glad, I said honestly. I know I can't repay the money you gave us, but I can repay the lesson you taught me. He met my eyes. That real success isn't about looking successful. It's about being honest, being stable, being the kind of person who helps others without needing credit. You taught me that lesson first, I said quietly. Before things got complicated, you used to help neighbors fix their cars for free. Remember? He blinked, surprised. I'd forgotten about that. I hadn't. That's who I thought fathers were supposed to be. That's who I tried to be. We stood there in his modest kitchen in the house he could actually afford, and for the first time in 6 years I felt like he actually saw me. I'm proud of you, Jordan. The work you do. The person you are. I should say that more. Yeah, I said. You should. I'm proud of you, son. Thanks, Dad. It wasn't everything, but it was enough. 2 years after the group chat that changed everything, I landed my biggest contract yet, a $200 million cybersecurity overhaul for a federal agency. The contract was public record. It made the news, not just tech news, but actual news. My phone rang at 7 a.m. the day after the announcement.
Dad.
Jordan, your mother, and I just saw CNN. Did you really just sign a $200 million contract? It's a 3-year contract, but yeah. Silence on the other end. Then, my God. I don't even have words. It's a good contract. Jordan.
His voice was thick.
I'm sorry. For what? For every time I told you to get a real job. For every time I implied you weren't successful. For every single time I made you feel like you needed to prove yourself. He paused. You were running circles around all of us, and we were too stupid to see it. It wasn't about running circles around anyone. I know. That's what makes it worse. You weren't trying to show us up. You were just being yourself, doing your work, and taking care of your family. And we punished you for it. I looked out my office window at the morning sun rising over the city. We're good, Dad. Really? Are we?
Yeah.
We are. And I meant it. Some endings aren't neat. Some family wounds don't fully heal. But some relationships get rebuilt. Not into what they were, but into something different. Something honest. My parents never met the version of me that needed their approval. That version stopped existing the day I canceled those transfers. But they know the version of me that exists now. The one who's successful on his own terms. The one who helps without needing credit but also doesn't accept being dismissed. The one who learned that sometimes the most loving thing you can do is let people face the consequences of their choices. Even when those people are family. Especially when those people are family. Marcus and I grab lunch once a month now. We don't talk about the past much. We talk about work, about life, about things that matter now. Rebecca calls me for actual tech advice. She's building something of her own, smaller than my ventures but honest. Hers. Mom and Dad are still in their modest house. Still budgeting carefully. Still learning to live the honest life they should have built decades ago. And me? I'm still in my penthouse. Still driving my Toyota. Still building companies and landing contracts and helping people who need it. But now my family knows who I am. And that finally is enough.